The Beyblade community is, let's just say, quite creatively active, and Beyblade X seems to have spurred that creativity like crazy. There's a whole world of custom 3D models ready for printing, and ever since Bamboo Labs sent me some of their entry-level 3D printers and sponsored me to make whatever the hell I want, I've been experimenting with every little Beyblade gizmo I can find. Especially this, a fan-made Beyblade X version of Plastic Gen's iconic Trypio Bay. Hi, I'm Jett Kuso, and everyone thinks this Beyblade is supposed to fly, including myself, cause the disc is called Flying Defense, and, you know, it looks like this. Excitement went wild when Takara Tomy said they might remake it for the Beyblade X system, just like their Dranzer remake. And then they didn't, cause, my god, look at it. But could the old Trypio really fly? And if Trypio was in Beyblade X, what would it take to make it fly? Well, I've got a new rudimentary haphazard knowledge of CAD modeling, so I'm gonna find out! Let's warm up with some simpler designs. Some accessories, some custom bits, and some unique creations, starting with... Beyblade is an old brand, and when new formats come, old formats must go. But the fans are not so quick to let go. I still have a box of metal fusion tops burning a oh my god! So, some guy made some adapters. These performance tips by A Studio turn any Metal Series bay into an X bay by giving them gears for extreme dashes. Unfortunately, the stock Metal Series launchers are slow as heck, and since the bits don't free spin, their speed gets killed every time they hit the rail. They got the spirit though, and if I had a good string launcher, it'd probably be better. Now, put one on a left spin bay and it even adds the burst mechanic, cause the bit unscrews as soon as it touches the rail. On the flip side, they made a custom bit for X bays that allows you to attach performance tips from the Metal Series. They lose extreme dash capabilities, but it opens up a whole world of performance capabilities from an entire past generation. Neat as heck, though perhaps not as practical as custom bits! I made a lot of bits. Bam! There are wise bladers out there who could look at each of these custom bits and tell me exactly what they do in battle, but that blader is not me. I can tell this one is quite wide, and this one's, oh, it's a thin little guy. But it would take competitive testing that I don't have time for to vet what's good or bad, so I'm more interested in what's neat. These two bits are my favorites. The screw bit by Ray Gotcha puts a shallow corkscrew around a gear, and you might think that would stop it from extreme dashing because it'll pop up off the rail, and yeah, it does do that. And sometimes that means it throws itself straight into a pocket, but other times it hops and jumps and skips off the rail in ways that no other bit really does. And Beyblade gimmicks at their best are more about what can work rather than what works competitively. It's very unique, and I don't think Tomy would ever actually make something like this. At least they haven't done so yet. Now, something more in the realm of possibility is the rolling ball bit by Soul Lock. It's got a ball inside that rolls around. There are plenty of legacy Beyblade tips that do this, so I guarantee we'll see it in Beyblade X eventually, but there's an elegance and a gimmick granted specifically by 3D printing. One, no assembly required. And this blew my mind, because this bit prints exactly like this, with the ball inside. No assembly seams, no screws, no glue. Look, you can see inside of the chamber as it prints each layer. It takes incredible precision to make this happen, especially with an entry-level filament printer. Beyond that, it takes advantage of one of the quirks of printing as well. The ball inside ends up with a smooth side and a rough side based on the orientation of the print. The designer actually intended this, because as the ball rolls around inside, it gains and loses friction, altering the performance erratically throughout the match. Just the coolest thing. I expected all of these custom bits to not actually have much strength to them, and to wear down quickly or break easily. But they really don't. I haven't seen any more wear than I'd expect on an official part, which is nuts, and even if they did, I could print replacements super fast. Specifically, I used this Bamboo A1 Mini, a high-end entry-level printer that Bamboo sent to me. I've set it up right in the studio where I film all of my videos, and it fits there because he's just a little guy. For my last 3D printing video, I made plates and plates worth of Bionicles using the full-sized A1, a printer I could have used to make like full-size Bionicle masks for my actual face, and maybe I'll still do that. But for something like Beyblade, with small parts like bits, the compact form factor of the A1 Mini is perfect, and it's integrated with the MakerWorld platform for easy one-click printing. There are actually a couple things in this video that I printed using one click, like this little nifty guy that I'll show off later. I printed most of my parts this time around using close to the thinnest possible layer height, basically high resolution, the result being nearly invisible layer lines and incredibly smooth curves. Absolutely essential for this brand, where every imperfection and every hard edge may slow your spin or change performance. Now, does it have the precision to make something that can fly? That remains to be seen, though Beyblade is not merely about the tops. It's a lifestyle, and a good lifestyle needs good accessories! I shot every single battle for my Beyblade Golden Era video myself, meaning I had to tape 2 string launchers together, and it was pretty horrible and barely works, and you can see it in the first frickin' shot of the video. Therefore, the second thing I ever printed with the A1 was this double string launcher connector by Schleeve, which I found right in the Bamboo Handy app with a quick search for Beyblade. Self-explanatory, flawless design, and I have yet to find a better way to test bays in flat launch conditions. You lose out on strategic or angled launches, but if you want to test what bays work best when all things are equal, or you just need to film hundreds of hours of slow-mo video of Beyblade fights, this will do the job. Of course, I could also print custom grips, ergonomic or stylish, and people make cases for storage, or deck boxes for tournaments. And for displaying my bays, well, there are these amazing stands by Skiwi. Beyblades look notoriously lame sitting on a shelf, but I can't get enough of how frickin' sick they look all segmented like this. I'm probably gonna use these if I make future Beyblade videos, just for the flair of it. I actually multicolor printed the version with the X logo, so it has this white looking X middle part, just like I multi-printed the Beyblade card kit. Beyblade card kit! This is the Dragoon Beyblade card kit by Toast Channel. It starts like this. It prints exactly like this, unpainted. You snip it off the sprue, add a skateboard bearing, and it makes this little mini Beyblade with launcher and everything. Why? I don't know, but I'm printing a second batch right now with different colors so that I can battle them. It's the AMS Lite that makes all of this possible. It feeds different filaments into the A1 Mini and switches between them to make single-piece prints with multiple colors like this. And the MakerWorld platform allows for print profiles that are already colored. All I had to do was assign which filaments I wanted to use for which color because I didn't have a yellow for the classic Dragoon, and it just does it. Altogether, the Bamboo ecosystem makes something like this, which should be very, very complicated, totally beginner-friendly. It's this beginner's simplicity that let me chase my true vision, the thing you're all here for, something I never even would have thought about trying a month ago. Flying Beyblade! So trypio, right? The actual intended function of the flying defense attack ring, as demonstrated by the anime, was actually the exact opposite of flying.
It's his attack ring. It acts like some kind of propeller.
Bingo, Chief. The spinning motion of Eddie's attack ring causes a vacuum underneath his blade, which sucks it to the dish surface. To be honest, the All-Stars have done their homework.
It's meant to suck the Beyblade down into the arena, like the aerodynamics of an F1 car. which could be genuinely useful in Beyblade X, where getting thrown up and around is generally a bad strategy. Does this custom Beyblade X version of Trypio by Ryu Kiln-mei actually do that? No clue. It's not good in battle, obviously, because the weight discrepancy without any metal is just way too vast. But what if we reversed the wings, or made it spin in the opposite direction? If it could fly, that could provide a tactical advantage. Trypio would be hovering over the arena, avoiding the early strikes of an attack type, or perhaps floating down and landing gently on top of a stamina type and stealing some spin. My ideal would be a Beyblade that can hover as long as possible before losing speed and entering the arena. When I was first playing around with the A1, I was looking at the one-touch prints that the machine pulls from Maker World, and the first thing I ever printed was this. It's a simple ripcord toy with a toroidal propeller, and it frickin' launches these things. I figure this propeller design will absorb shock better than straight blades, so I crudely slapped it onto Trypio and gave it a shot. I think it needs more blades. For more stability, for one, and to provide more thrust as well. And I have done that. Therefore, I am now proud to present... Wildly, this thing does actually work. Like, you put in the launcher, and it does fly up. It's not exactly gonna fly sky high forever with the ratchet and the bit, but that's fine, because what we want is something that hovers slowly down into the arena, buying us time as it does. So let's frickin' find out, I guess. Ready? 3, 2, 1, let it rip. This could be a problem. I did make a more reasonably sized version, which doesn't really get enough thrust to fly, but it fits in the arena much more reasonably. Is any of this good, or useful, or practical? No, but I had the idea while I was in the middle of scripting this video and I just went for it. I learned a new software, prototyped half a dozen versions, and it sort of works. All because I knew this machine could make my imagination into a real, testable thing. And that's only possible because other fans and makers have made fans that I was able to remix. And that's amazing. No complaints, I am over the moon about this whole silly ordeal. If you want to get a Bamboo Labs A1 Mini for yourself, let your creativity run wild, or just download some of the stuff that you've seen in this video to try out for yourself, click the first link in the description. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and click another video of mine when this one is over. Thank you for watching, this is Jett Kuso, and I'll see you next time. Wow, thank you to Bamboo for sponsoring this video, and thank you to all of my Patreon supporters, like my Diamond patrons, Immortal Blank, Lucid Lana, CHOOKA Bear, and RAZU RION, my Titan patrons, CR107, Gusano, and Banana Jones, and my lovely Hyper patrons, Trouble, Mudorios, Orio, Alyssa, Gretlein, Mannsky, and Plecopleco. Thank you guys so much, and if you want to help support the channel, go to patreon.com/Jett Kuso. Thank you. Works. I don't know, I like it.